In the headlines, Ebonyi State Governor Umahi lauds Peter Obi's movement, insists Tinubu will win. Police arrest most wanted bandit in Zamfara, recover weapons. President Buhari approves federal government's takeover of Gombe Airport. And on the foreign scene, Charles III, proclaimed king with trumpet fanfare, vows to follow inspiring queen. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I'm Dashan Hosseina Usman. And now the news in detail. Governor of Ebonyi State, Dave Umahi, has said despite the level of acceptability of the Labour Party presidential candidate, Peter Obi, the flag bearer of the ruling All Progressives Congress, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, will emerge victorious at next year's election. He said this while fielding questions from State House reporters after a meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari at the presidential villa. The governor, who lost the APC presidential ticket in June, said Southeast would have been forgotten if Obi had decided not to participate in the current electioneering process. He expressed optimism that a candidate from the Southeast would eventually become president of Nigeria post-2023 elections.
They say in a big house, there are a couple of things, there are vessels unto another, vessels unto dishonor, literally meaning that, there must be some issues in a big house like APC. But the structure and the spread of APC is such that, victory is assured. And I can assure you that some of the disagreements in some states are going to be resolved. What happened during the primaries of PDP and APC, were kind of miscalculation by our people. But to say whether they are ready for the presidency of the country anytime, I think that the movement of P2B is an eyes opener, and that's why I said I love what he's doing. I'm encouraged by what he's doing, because if it's not doing what he's doing, it means that Southeast would have been forgotten. So while my party takes the victory, he has prepared, he would have prepared a very good ground for the Southeast presidency, so that nobody is going to write us off, and you can see the level of his acceptability, which does not translate to victory over APC, I'm sure of that, but it's a good movement.
The conversation about gender equality has continued to dominate public discourse, especially as it pertains to economic participation and decision-making. In this report, Noel Sampson looks at the reactions of gender professionals concerning the issue of female gender inclusion as 2023 general elections draw closer.
Women's political participation is a fundamental prerequisite for gender equality and gender democracy. The issue of female gender inclusion into Nigerian politics has been a great concern because of the minimal female participation. However, experts in gender activism are of the opinion that Nigeria society is not fully ready for this phase of development.
I mean, the female gender has always been ready. Where you find that the female gender are not ready, it's because the society is not ready to accept what the female gender is capable of doing or of becoming. So it is not a question of if the female gender is ready. No, it's a question of, is the society ready to embrace what the female gender can contribute to its development? I think the women are always ready.
Some still believe financial strength and family background are factors limiting participation of women in Nigeria politics.
I totally believe that socio-cultural biases has been one of the major roadblocks to women's active participation in politics. We also have the issue of how political parties are structured. I believe the way women present themselves or the way they come into the political system or the political terrain has also been one major issue that has really restrained women from participating actively in politics. Why I said that, recently I had a conversation with a politician from Bauchi State. She's from a very conservative family, but she's been able to put herself out there to say, yes, I would want to represent my people at this particular seat or in this particular elective position in government. But the issue that that really came up that was able to restrain her was the issue of political party structures and the issue of money politics, which are some of the issues that has really generated debate among political actors, the international community, as well as civil society organizations. So I think the bottom line is the society is really not ready to give women the chance. And also women are not ready to get in the playing field.
Sufficient women representation in politics will increase creativity, originality, and help to diversify the pool of talent, skills, and ability. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Police in Zamfara State have arrested one of the command's most wanted suspected bandits, who is alleged to be carrying out attacks, kidnappings, and cattle rustling in Anka and Bukuyum local government areas of the state. According to the police, their operatives also apprehended a suspected criminal who has been robbing bank customers of their money and other valuables in Borno, Bauchi, Kebbi, Sokoto, and Zamfara states. The report.
The police public relations officer of the Zamfara State Police Command, Mohammed Shehu, paraded the two suspects before journalists on behalf of the Commissioner of Police, Kolo Yusuf. He said police operatives acted on intelligence information, which led to the arrest of one of the wanted terrorists, 31-year-old Isiaku Babangida, male who hails from Niger State. The police spokesperson explained that there was an attempt by one Alhaji Bello, suspected bandit kingpin, and his gang member, 31-year-old, to attack some communities in Anka and Bukuyam, local government areas of the state. But police operatives promptly mobilized into the troubled areas, where they engaged in a gun battle with the bandits, who fell to the superior power of the police and fled into the bush with gunshot wounds.
4 days ago, because since the case was reported to the police swung into action, commenced discreet investigation with a view to arresting the perpetrators.
Mohammed Shehu disclosed that the police also arrested a criminal, Osman Umar, male, 39 years old, after a complaint by one Nura Umar of the Zamfara State Investment Department, who reported that unknown persons broke the left side of the windshield of his Peugeot 406 vehicle, stole his 3,473,000 naira and laptop.
Attached to the Zamfara State Investment Department reported that unknown persons broke the left side glass of his Peugeot 406 vehicle with registration number Abuja RSH 531 RD, and not only with his bag from the boot containing his HP laptop.
The police have recovered 3,500,000 naira and the laptop from the suspect, who had confessed that he has been perpetrating similar crimes in Borno, Bauchi, Kebbi, and Sokoto states.
The Plateau State Police Commissioner of Police, Bartholomew Onyeka, on Friday paraded 8 suspected criminals who are accused of alleged theft, culpable homicide, and cultism. According to the commissioner, the suspects who were arrested at the point of committing one of the crimes said they have confessed to their crimes. While parading the suspects at state headquarters of the command, the commissioner said the suspects arrested the criminals through synergy with other security agencies, adding that such collaborative effort under his watch has helped the command to record successes in recent times in the state.
Successes we've so far recorded in Plateau State, and that is what we're about to do now. When I arrived here and assumed duty at the 42nd Commissioner of Police, Plateau State, I came up with ideas and strategies that has helped in what we're about to witness now. That is where I have completely rejected the security architecture of policing in this state for maximum efficiency through intelligence-led policing, raiding of criminal hideouts, prompt and timely response to distress calls, as most of these criminals you are saying have been arrested in the actual commission of the crime. Robust vehicular and foot patrols, synergy with other security agencies in the state. We are just not alone in this fight. Other agencies like the military, the STF, the DSS, the civil defense, we're all together and we are all working together. And as well as collaboration with the traditional institution and as well as the religious institutions in the state. They are our partners, we partner them, we move with them, and that is what will brought the successes that have so far been recorded. And you, the gentlemen of the press, will all agree with me that there's really a great change in this state. Right from the day I arrived here as the Commissioner of Police, Plateau State. That is on the 4th of November last year till now. Things has never been the same. The terrain has been surmounted, and we are winning the war against crime and criminality. I think at this point,
Stakeholders in Osun State have called on the state government to make public schools accessible for children and young persons with disabilities. This was a thrust of a stakeholders meeting in Osogbo, organized by a community-based organization. The chairman of the Osun State chapter of Joint National Association of Persons with Disability, Stephen Oluwafemi, appealed to government to provide facilities that will make it easy for children with disabilities to attend schools. A community leader, Eni Ayeni, urged Osun State House of Assembly to pass disability bill into law to curb discrimination and protect the interests of persons with disabilities.
Access for the people with disability in some areas by providing a ramp step for the physically handicapped, those who are using wheelchair, so they may have free access to their classroom. And for the visually impaired, there must be a provision of machine for them to assist them, like Persons braille machine, writing frame, Marburg, and computer, and train the teacher who will there for them to assist them when it is well needed.
So, the essence of pushing for inclusion of children with special needs in mainstream school is very, very key. One, we are asking the government of Osun State to pass the disability bill into law. Children that are in special schools can also be admitted in these mainstream schools. We have seen parents that are not comfortable sending their children to schools for special needs. There must be a law in place, and which is the disability bill. So we are calling on the state government, we are saying on House of Assembly to sign this bill into law in Osun State to give a leverage for the disability community in Osun State.
You're watching Trust News Update. Coming up after the break. How native caps complement dressing. Do stay with us. Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. If you're just joining us, you're watching a Trust News Update. Here's a look at some of our top stories. We told you that Ebonyi State Governor Umahi lauds Peter Obi's movement, insists Tinubu will win. We also heard that police arrest most wanted bandit in Zamfara, recover weapons. Moving on to more stories, artisans and labourers in Zamfara State have decried low patronage as a result of the hard economic situation in the country. They say inflation is making life difficult as prices of raw materials have skyrocketed while patronage is low. The report.
Mechanics, welders and electricians who play a substantial role in everyday activities in communities are facing low or zero patronage. They say prices of raw materials have now doubled, making it impossible for their customers to afford the current prices, which is affecting their jobs. Furthermore, banditry in Zamfara State has impacted adversely on every sector of the state's economy, which has increased in the level of poverty. This, they say, could be because people are being exploited to sell property to pay ransom to free family members in captivity. This development is creating untold hardship on residents, including artisans and labourers who work for other people to earn a living. Samuel Ezekiel is one of the mechanics in Gusau Metropolis. When Trust TV News visited his workshop, it was very quiet. Too quiet for a mechanic workshop. He was just sitting with other colleagues chatting while in away time. Ezekiel and his colleagues attributed the low patronage in their businesses to the survival instinct in man prioritizing living. They said that some of their customers decided to park their cars at home due to lack of money, which is subsequently affecting them.
Actually, no work now like before. Everything will go down. Down. Really down. No movement, anything, no work. And our children, we don't be able to pay as the school fees most. So in fact, nothing there for this again. I'm trying to say.
The situation of the country is going critically worst. We need somebody that will come and rescue this our nation, because the nation is falling every day. Life is not easy like before again, because things are going bad and worst. Because the situation now only God will rescue Nigeria. So everybody have to go back to God.
The chairman of labourers, Mukhtar Abubakar in Gusau Metropolis, said everyone knows the current situation in the country. He said it is because of the situation they're demanding wage increase from 2,000 naira per ton for uploading to 3,000 naira to enable them cope with the current high cost of living in the country.
Everyone knows that the situation in the country is not easy. That is why, as laborers, we try to save a little from what we earn. Sometimes the money we earn all goes into buying foodstuff because prices have increased outrageously. With little money in circulation and increase in prices, daily survival for even our business is now very difficult. People do not have money presently. What we are buying 1,000 naira is now 2,000 naira. People are in a difficult situation. Before now, we had food and money to even assist others. Currently, we have become beggars as a result of the economic situation in the country. We have low patronage in our businesses. Spare parts that we once bought at 1,000 naira are now 5,000 naira. Because of the rising inflation in the country, if everyone contacts me to render a service, I now charge according to the prevailing prices of things so that I can make a little profit from the transaction.
For these artisans and labourers, the current economic hardship is beyond them. They, however, pray for high-power intervention, but for now, it is the survival of the fittest.
Designed to complement dressing, the cap is an essential costume in northern Nigeria that is worn during special occasions. In addition, cap knitting, selling and washing is also a source of employment for thousands of youths in the northern part of the country. In this special package, Trust TV's Ibrahim Ismail examines the significance of native caps. The report.
Zanna Bukar, Damanga, Dara, Minister, Maropia are the most notable in the varieties of caps used in northern Nigeria, while millions of Nigerians, especially in the northern region, wear caps every day. Others use it during special occasions such as Salah celebration, Friday prayers, weddings, or other cultural events. Trust TV speaks to some Nigerians in Gombe State on what it means to wear a cap.
It's a kind of a sort of reputation. When you wear cap, people will consider you, will give you more, consider you more important and respect you more in the community. So these are some of the reasons why we do wear cap.
Individually, from the time that I start buying cap and put it in my head, I can tell you now it's about almost 20 years. And sometimes if even I went out without the cap, it's like I missed something. So cap is also part of us in the northern part of the country.
I almost spent 21 to 22 years wearing the cap because since my childhood, you know the tradition of Malam Bahaushe. So our father used to buy the cap for us in order to wear specifically for Fridays.
Meanwhile, the cap, popularly known as hula in Hausa language, has been the source of income for thousands of people in the north. From the proceeds of cap washing, I sponsored my education, support my parents, and solve other personal needs. We assemble new caps. We also knit and reshape it to fit the client. Wearing the cap is a tradition for the Hausa people because for them it is incomplete to wear the native dress without a cap. From Gombe, Ibrahim Ismail reporting for Trust TV.
As the impact of crude oil theft and pipeline vandalism continues to ravage the Nigerian economy, the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, PENGASN, has charged the federal government and security agencies to hold accountable and prosecute oil theft culprits in the country to curb the menace. The union expressed concern during the protest and sensitization campaign against crude oil theft in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. The report.
Members of Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, PENGASN Port Harcourt Zone, has joined their counterparts across the country to protest against activities of oil theft and pipeline vandalism. The protest and public sensitization took off from Isaac Borough Park on Aba Road to the headquarters of the State Police Command and then the office of the NSCDC to register their grievances against activities of illegal oil bunkering and vandalism. Addressing the Commissioner of Police and his team, the Chairman, PENGASN Port Harcourt Zone, Peter Chukudi Onita, said governments at all levels must do everything possible to stop pipeline vandalism and oil theft, insisting sabotage to one is sabotage to the nation.
With the sophisticated pattern of the oil theft and vandalism, government should provide the necessary facility for the military men, whether it is police, navy, civil defense, to do the job. Then the question is, how will government provide when they don't have the oil to sell and they don't have the money?
In his response, the State Commissioner of Police, Friday Eboka, said over 22 persons have been charged to court, where he expressed displeasure over the level of oil theft and vandalism in the state. He assured that the police, in collaboration with state government, will not fail to arrest and prosecute anyone caught in the act.
We have charged about 22 people to court involved in this vehicle, and destroy any camps in the state. We are trying to back up a strategy to ensure that whenever they do it, it will not cross the river into anywhere. All our exit points will have been manned. Anywhere you bring food for your oil from, as you get to those exit points, you will be arrested, the vehicle impounded, and the people involved tried to court.
In the same vein, Commandant of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, River State Command, Michael Oga, urged the union and the public to assist security agencies by giving adequate information when needed to fight against illegal bunkering and pipeline vandalism.
We are doing our best to fight bunkering, and we are happy that you have joined us to enlighten the public. So I pray that may God continue to sustain you and give you more power to continue this advocacy to the Greeks, and also to give us information where bunkering activities are going on.
The union urged government not to relent in prosecuting.
President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the takeover of the Gombe State Airport by the federal government. Governor Inuwa Yahaya announced this on Friday while briefing State House reporters after a meeting with the president at the presidential villa in Abuja. He said the move would ensure the availability of funds to maintain the facility throughout the lifespan of its operation. The officials of the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority had in June inspected facilities at the Gombe International Airport and certified it for the airlift of Muslim pilgrims in the state to Saudi Arabia. President Buhari said the Nigerian economy had continued to grow and maintain an upward trajectory despite the disruptions in the global economy and internal troubles. On the mandate and constitution of the committee under his headship with representations from state governors, the president said he is convinced that it will deliver as expected for the benefit of the populace. And finally, on the foreign scene, Charles III has been proclaimed king in a ceremony at St. James Palace. Charles became king following the death of his mother, Queen Elizabeth II, but a historic meeting formally confirmed his role on Saturday. During this accession council, the king approved the day of the Queen's funeral becoming a bank holiday, although it is not known when it will take place. It is the first time the historic ceremony has been televised. The king himself was not present to begin with, but he attended the second part of the ceremony to hold his first meeting of the Privy Council, the group of senior politicians who advised the monarch. And with this, we've come to the end of Trust News Update. Don't forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Darshan Husseina Usman. Thanks for watching.